everyone. We're going to look at our math pages now. Our math pages are pages 473 and 474. Now, the top of our page has us hopping and adding on. And we have done some adding on with counting, but not with a number line, not with hopping like it's showing us in the paper. So we're going to go down below that and start with number 1. And we'll go over the instructions of how to do this beginning with number 1. For any of the parents who are watching, the reason we're not hopping is I attended a math workshop and it recommends against hopping in first grade. It recommends starting it in second, so we're teaching the lessons a different way. All right, for number 1, I have 25 plus 3 and 25 plus 30. And what this lesson would like you to think about is how your answer or your sum is going to be different if you're adding 3 ones instead of 3 tens. So if we notice here, our 3 is in the ones place, and in the number 30, our 3 is in the tens place. Now, we can still draw our line if that helps us, because remember we want to start with our ones and go to our tens. If I have 5 plus 3, my answer will be, let's see, what's 5 plus 3? I hope you said 8. And now I'm moving over to my tens. 2 tens plus nothing is still 2 tens. So when I add 25 plus 3, I get 28. Now over here, my 3 is in the tens place. So let's see how my answer is different. Let's see what our sum will be when we add 25 plus 30. 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 tens plus 3 tens is 5 tens. So if we add 25 plus 30, our sum is 55. So it's important to think about whether or not we're adding ones or tens. And that's why it's so important if you're writing a math problem that you line it up so that when you're writing your problems, if you notice here, my ones go in a straight line and my tens go in a straight line. All right, let's go over to number 2. Number 2 is 31 plus 1. Well, we know 31 plus 1 more is 32. But let's pretend we did. And we're going to first add our ones. Oh, look, there's a perfect example of why we need to line up our tens and our ones. Look, we're going to run right into that too. So let's move that over. 1 plus 1 is 2. 3 tens plus no tens is 3. So we already said 31 plus 1 more is 32. Now over here, my 1 is in the tens place. I'm going to draw my line to help me remember to first add my ones and then my tens. 1 plus 0 is 1. 3 plus 1 more is 4. So 31 plus 10, our sum is 41. So our answers are different depending on whether or not our 1 is in the ones place or the tens place. You're going to finish this on your own. And Talk It Over is asking you what we already talked about. How is it different if we have our 3 in the ones place or our 3 in the tens place for number 1? It affects our sum because we're adding either tens or ones. Oh, that's talking about exercise 11, but I'm referring you back to exercise 1. So put a check mark on number 12. You're going to finish the back on your own. You are going to do the word problems and you are going to do the pink challenge box. It's okay to ask a grown-up if you need a little bit of help, especially with that challenge box. And I think you'll do a great job. Bye. We'll come back to do English. Hi guys. We're going to start today with phonics, and we're starting on page 161. We're also going to do page 162, but I put the 161 up there because we're going to be looking at this page for a few minutes. All right, let's read the instructions at the top. Read the story, print a word that ends in S, ES, ED, or ING on the line to finish each sentence. Okay, so remember, you may have an answer that makes sense, but if it doesn't end with S, ES, ED, or ING, it's not going to be correct. You have to make sure you're following the instructions. This story is about the sun, star of our solar system. And since we're not together, and I know there might be a few challenging words in here, we're going to read it together before you start. So let's read the title together. The sun, star of our solar system. Okay, remember to read with me. The sun shines on us, giving Earth light and heat. Without the sun, Earth would be so cold that no plants and animals would be able to live there. That is why the sun is so important. Okay, if you lost your place, we're starting at the second paragraph. The sun is a star. Like other stars, the sun is made of burning gases. From Earth, the sun looks like a glowing yellow ball because of the burning gases. The sun is closer to us than other stars, so it seems larger. Earth and the other planets move around the sun. The sun and the planets are called the solar system. Okay? So remember, when you're looking for your words, they need to end in either S, ES, ED, or ING. Okay, so go ahead and finish the front, and you can pause this and then restart it for the instructions on the back. Okay, we're on the back. That's going to be page 162. Let's read the yellow box at the top. Add the ending of each word inside the box. You may have to change the spelling of a word before adding the ending. Okay? So, when we're adding S or ES, remember, when we're adding S to a word to make it more than one, most words you just have to add an S. But if your word ends in X, SS, CH, SH, am I missing one? XZ, or S, what did I miss? XZ, Z. Remember, if it ends in one of those letters, you're going to add ES. So right now, write those on the top of your page to remember that if your word ends in one of those letters, you're adding ES instead of S. Take a minute to do that now. Okay. If you need another minute, pause it. I'm going to go ahead and erase this for the next part that we're going over on the back. Okay. Now, we're going to go over our rules for adding ED and ING, especially since you missed the video for Friday. Okay. The one rule that we've talked about a couple of times is if we have a word that ends with a consonant and it has a short vowel in front of it, it gets a twin, and then we add ing. Okay? Or if we have a word that ends with a consonant and has a short vowel in front of it, whoops, I forgot the twin. We're going to write our twin and give it ed. All right? Now, what you missed yesterday was our magic E. If we have a word that ends with magic E, like skate, we're going to let the magic E have a little vacation. So I'm going to take the magic E, I'm going to send it to the Magic Kingdom. It's waiting in line at the Magic Kingdom for Disneyland and Disney World to reopen. Okay? And then I can add my ing ending, or if I'm adding ed, I'm going to take that magic E, send it to the Magic Kingdom, and write ed. Okay? So, where it says ing and ed, remember those words for your ending. And then you're going to write a sentence using one or more of the words you made. So choose one of the words you wrote and put it in a sentence. Okay. I hope you have fun writing a creative sentence. Hi everyone. So today for English, we're going to be doing pages 159 and 160. On page 159, we're looking at the contraction that we can make with I will. Now remember, with all but one of the contractions, we're going to start by writing the first word. So when we have I will, our first word is I. Now the contraction we can make with I will is I'll. So I'm going to cross out two letters, crossing out the W and the I, putting an apostrophe in its place, and writing I'll. All right, and that's showing us at the top. And the example is, I will take your picture. Or instead of I will, I could say, I'll take your picture. So let's go down and look at the instructions at letter B. Underline the two words that make up each contraction. Write the contraction on the line. Number 1 says, I will go to the dance tonight. Which two words can you underline to make the contraction? I hope you said I will. Underline the first two words, I will, and write your contraction on the line. Remember, the contraction I'll will always start with an uppercase letter because the word I always is written with an uppercase I. And I made it the first word of each sentence today to help you remember that. So remember, you're going to underline the two words that make the contraction and write the contraction on the line. You do not have to do writer's corner. You may put an X on it. And let's look at the back. On the back, you're going to make a contraction with the word it is. And I'm actually going to change that to a lowercase I, because in most of our sentences today, it is not the first word in the sentence. So we remember when we're writing a contraction, we look at our two words and we write the first word. Our first word is it. From the words it is, we can write the contraction its. I'm going to cross out the I, put an apostrophe in its place, and write the letter S so that I can make its from it is. And the example at the top of our page says it is raining today, and it gives us the example it's raining today. Let's look at our instructions at letter B. Underline the two words that make up each contraction. Write the contraction on the line. Number 1, Lynn says it is easy to juggle. Which words are we going to use there to make our contraction? Yes, we're using it is. So underline it is. And write the contraction for it is. You're going to write it on the line. Lynn says it's easy to juggle. Okay, finish that on your own and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.